And the Budweiser Emerald Cup, Heat 1A coming up. I'm Don Poyer along with Jim Henrik. This is the Mr. Pringles going in. Scotty Pierce, the driver, making sure that his stopwatch is started on time. And they're having the crew do it. Jim Kropfeld, the Budweiser driver, heading out. Tim Ramsey, Steve Olson, crew members there helping him. Looks like the 7-Eleven a little behind schedule. I hope they can make Heat 1A in time. And this is the Cellular One, Todd Yarling out of Hanover, Indiana. He'll be driving this rig, their second year out in Seattle. Still a lot of hurrying going on the 7-Eleven camp. This is Don Parkin. They call him Pinky, one of the crew members. Steve Reynolds seems to be ready to go, though, the driver of the 7-Eleven. And hopefully they will have that boat out there and ready in time. Yes, they do. As you see the Budweiser go out, the 7-Eleven up on the sling, and we should have all 6 boats ready to go. Look at this. Even the Budweiser crew members are out helping the 7-Eleven crew get this boat out in time. Nice sportsmanship on the part of the Budweiser team. Steve Reynolds, of course, a hometown man, grew up on the island in the background of this picture, Mercer Island in Seattle. So he's been around the hydroplanes for many, many years. And this race, as it is for many of the Seattle drivers, awfully special. They want to win in front of their hometown fans. So Steve Reynolds looking for his first victory in 1986. We'll try again here in Seattle for Steve Woomer's 7-Eleven team. Out goes the 7-Eleven. Protective carpet out of the way, and we're ready to go racing. And here are the drivers for Heat 1A. Jack Schaefer driving Chuck Ickling's Tempest, a tunnel boat. Todd Yarling out of Hanover, Indiana, as I said, driving the Cellular One, his second trip to Seattle. Ron Snyder, popular driver, driving the Hulset Miss Madison, a conventional style boat. Steve Reynolds out of Seattle and the turbine-powered Miss 7-Eleven. Also Scotty Pierce, also out of Seattle, in the Mr. Pringles, its second race as a sponsor. Finally, Jim Kropfeld, national point leader, aboard the Miss Budweiser. All 6 boats are running for Heat 1A. Oh, this is something special, racing in front of Seattle fans. And here's the start. You heard the gun. The starting boat's right on the button. The Budweiser in lane number 2. And Ron Snyder in the Hulset Miss Madison in lane number 1 on the right of your screen. This is a 2-mile course. Already, you can see how the boats are bouncing up and down. The Budweiser, there's Bernie Little and his wife Jane watching from a scissor lift, a tower. He can watch the race from the pits. The Budweiser in lane number 1 and in first place, going down the back chute. Moving into second place is the 7-Eleven. In third, Ron Snyder out of Piqua, Ohio. Here's the Budweiser and Jim Kropfeld. He talked about how rough it's getting out there, and you can get some idea of the ride that he's going through. This is the Budweiser coming down the main straightaway, and look who's moving up. The 7-Eleven on the inside, pulling on the Budweiser. Kropfeld in first, 7-Eleven in second. There's a great shot coming down the main chute with the Budweiser still holding on to first place. We'll get a speed for Kropfeld in just a moment, but the Budweiser holding on to first, fighting off 7-Eleven. Steve Reynolds, a good friend of Jim Kropfeld, and they are 1 and 2 after lap number 1. Speed for the Budweiser, 116 miles per hour, 113 for the 7-Eleven. Look how Ron Snyder, they've lost an engine in the Hulset Miss Madison. He's done for this heat. Moving into third place now is the Mr. Pringles with Scotty Pierce. There's the second place boat, Steve Reynolds. Here's third place, Mr. Pringles with Scotty Pierce. In second and third, you have Seattle drivers. In first place, a Cincinnati driver, that being Jim Kropfeld, and the turbine-powered Miss Budweiser way up on the right sponson. It is getting very treacherous up in the north turn. It was last year when the 7-Eleven almost lost its right sponson, and now the Budweiser taking a beating. Second place is Steve Reynolds in the 7-Eleven, trying to get more power out of that Lycoming engine. They've been doing a lot of work on the boat, getting it running much faster. The Pringles boat, very reliable, a good driver in Scotty Pierce out of Seattle. He is in third place. Budweiser in second place. The speed much higher for the Bud after lap number 2, 124.61 miles per hour. So he is not waiting for anybody to try to even catch up with him. The 7-Eleven has dropped back, as you can see on our perspective shot, along the log boom. Thousands of yachts down there on the back straightaway, about maybe 500 yards away from the actual course. But still, the waves bounce off of those boats and come right into the main straightaway in the back and the front straightaway as well. Back in fourth place is the Cellular One in Todd Yarling, who made the final here last year when the Gold Cup was held in Seattle. A great performance, and they hope to do the same here. Back to the Budweiser, back into that tough corner. You can see the tail wave back and forth. An incredible beating this boat is taking as they go around the north turn. The Budweiser really putting it down, and likewise for the 7-Eleven. Speed for the Budweiser. And wait a minute, the 7-Eleven is slowing down. Something's gone wrong with the 7-Eleven. Steve Woomer, the owner of the boat, the man in the sunglasses, passes. He can't believe it. Now the Budweiser still bouncing along. Speed for the Bud, 126.9. That is a new 2-mile course record in a competitive lap for Seattle. This is a 2-mile course. Used to be 2.5 miles. Now it's 2. And moving into second was the Mr. Pringles. Into third, the Cellular One and Todd Yarling. That would give him valuable points and trying to get into that final. Back to the Budweiser. You saw the 7-Eleven in the foreground. Again, Trockfeld trying to negotiate through this tough north turn. Doesn't seem to be quite as bad in the south turn, but the Budweiser and the checkered flag awaiting him as he comes down for 400 points. The Budweiser and Trockfeld. He's in good shape to get into the final. Second place will go to Scotty Pierce and the Mr. Pringles. 300 points. That should put them in really quite good shape as well for the final. One more preliminary to go. And here's the Cellular One, 225 points. Third place to Todd Yarling. Looking at the results of 1A, the Budweiser not only set a lap speed record, competitive lap, but also a heat speed record of 117.7 miles per hour on this 2-mile course. Down to the Budweiser camp with Jim Hendrick.
Jim, you had to notice that you were being pressed by a 7-Eleven. Your fastest lap was lap number 3 at 126 plus.
Well, I wasn't worried about the speed. It's rough out there. I went as fast as I had to go to stay ahead, and I knew Steve was there, and I took everything I had to get away from him.
Where'd you find him?
Well, I knew he was there all the time. I saw him on the start, and I knew where he was, and I saw him when he cut to the inside.
Is the water taking its toll in that back chute?
It's very rough back there. It's as bad as it's ever been here. It really puts a lot of demand on the driver and the equipment.
Okay. Well, 7-Eleven had their problems, and Don Poyer's over at that camp.
Gearbox, huh?
Yeah, it looks like the wheel backed off the gearbox on one of the gears. It's the same thing that happened to Budweiser back in Evansville. I think we've encountered the very same problem. In fact, it was incredible. The boat quit going. I looked down, the engine's still putting out 100%. I'm going, but I'm not going anywhere.
You have another gearbox in the truck, I assume.
Yeah, we do. Not the gear ratio that I'd like, but you know, the hair presents a problem. Depending on the draw next heat, we have to win to even get a maybe into the final heat. So it's going to be it's third and long.
One thing we did see, though, you were pulling on the Budweiser.
It's finally putting out some power, and the boat is running stably. I was just starting to trim the boat and picking up about 5 or so miles an hour per straightaway. It was running pretty good.
Well, it looks like there's been some damage to the Budweiser as well.
It appears that we lost some fiberglass skin off the left sponson.
Cosmetic mainly?
Well, it's on the outboard side of the left sponson, so it really doesn't take the abuse or the thrust.
Okay.
So we'll put some kind of a patch over it right now, and we should be in pretty good shape.
So while the 7-Eleven and Budweiser get patched up, we'll be back with 1B in a minute.